How hard is it to get military fit? Over the next 12 weeks, I'll be putting you through your paces to get physically ready for military service. Speed, endurance, and all things running. Bodyweight strength, why it's important, and how to build it. When to start running with weight, how to do it right without causing yourself an injury. So if you're joining the military or even considering it, you must watch this video. That brings me to today. We're here in East London, lovely Victoria Park, and finally the clouds have gone and it is a sunny day. And today I'm going to be doing the bleep test. The bleep test is the first part of this series, but it's also the first barrier of entry into a career in the army. If you are in the application process right now, I am sure you are thinking about the bleep test, and if you can't pass it, how to pass it. That's what we're going to be looking at in today's video. Over the next 12 weeks, I'm not just putting you through your paces, I'm practicing what I preach and I'm putting me through my paces. So I'm going to be doing all of these assessments, including the bleep test today. Haven't done one in a long time, so we'll see what I get. But then throughout the next 12 weeks, I'm going to then be retesting at the end of it and show you how much fitter I can get. This is the advice to anyone that's going through training, is remember, you're not just training to pass the tests, you're training to be competent as a soldier and what's to come thereafter. For those that are new to the channel, welcome. My name's Dan. I was in the British Army as an officer in the infantry for 6 years. I was also an instructor training recruits on how to pass tests and get soldier ready. So be physically ready for not just the demands of the test, but the demands of being an infantry soldier. The bleep test was always one that my platoon was worried about. But once you've got the fitness to get past it, you are not only passing the fitness test, you are passing and setting yourself up for success for everything that comes after to be a soldier. Since leaving the army, I've set up my own business as a military coach, helping people not only pass the entry tests and get into the British Army as a soldier or as an officer, but set themselves up for success to make sure that they're physically ready to do the job. Without further ado, let's crack on with the bleep test. Cool, so what is the bleep test? Well, simply put, it's a test that measures your aerobic capacity. You put out 2 cones, 20 meters apart. And as the test progresses, the speed of the beeps gets louder, which basically means that you end up running faster from one side to the other. Each run is called a shuttle run. It's a super common entry test for any services. So we're talking parachute regiment, Royal Marines, General British Army, Fire Brigade, police. Everyone will have to do the bleep test, but the standards will change depending on where you want to go. To join the British Army as an officer, the entry pass mark is 8.6. To join the parachute regiment, you need to be getting to 11.5. Join the Royal Marines is the same. And to be honest, 8.6 should be the bare minimum that you're getting. For other parts of the army outside of the infantry, I think it's around about level 0.6 to level 0.7, dependent on where you're going. So today, I'm going to take on the bleep test. Over the next 12 weeks, whatever result I get today, I will then repeat the test at the end of the 12 weeks, and hopefully I should be fitter. I've had 2 surgeries recently, so just go easy on me. The last time I did this, I hadn't had any surgeries, so that helps. I got into level 13, so I have absolutely no idea what I'll get today. That's the joy of YouTube. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The first few levels of the bleep test are pretty easy. The pace is relatively slow and the aim is to stay as relaxed as possible. You don't need to rush and race the beeps. Aim to get to each line as the beep goes off, and that will keep you nice and calm and consistent. Be relaxed in the upper body. Don't be all tense and uptight, as you're just going to waste more energy. And then finally, alternate the leg that you turn on so that you are giving each side a little bit more of a break. As you'll see in the latter intervals, I end up doing the same side because I'm absolutely gassed.
When it starts to get really hard and you start to feel really fatigued, this is where you need to dial in and get your mindset right. This is where that mental resilience is going to really help, just to fight and get a few more beeps. You actually get a 3-strike rule. So if you miss the beep a couple of times and then manage to regain it, that's fine. You can continue running. But if you miss 3 beeps in a row, then that is you, that is time up, and that is the score that you got.
Come on, mate. Yeah.
Stop. 12. Back.
How you feeling, Dan?
All things considered, that's not too bad. Not too bad to start off with. Level 12 on the dot. Probably was starting to miss the shuttles. It's a 3-strike rule, so I might have got 12.1, 12.2, but it's not making much difference. It's a pass. I'm in. Over the next 12 weeks, the aim is to break into level 13, if not level 14. It's all about consistency. The bleep test is a test of aerobic capacity, so we need to be working on speed, endurance, and endurance. All 3 things. And that's what the next 12 weeks is about, not just strength, not just to pass the bleep test, make you a better runner so you can be a better soldier. Okay, so I work with a lot of people that are struggling to get past level 8 and get that pass mark. The main thing, as I said, speed, endurance. If we don't have that top end speed to just simply get from one shuttle to the other in the latter intervals, then you're never going to be able to maintain it. So that first part is working on top end speed, shorter intervals, anywhere between 50 to maybe 200 meters, and really just generate that power. Strength training comes into that, a lot of unilateral work, lunges, etc. The next part is speed endurance. Once we've got that top end speed, how long can we maintain it for? That's what's going to get you into the latter levels. And then finally, and it's overlooked by everyone I work with, it's just general endurance. That was, what, 11 minutes, 11 and a half minutes? So to get into level 14, we're probably looking at about 13 minutes. That's not an awful lot of time to run for, and I'm not working extremely hard for that long either. So we need to be able to run for longer. So building up to 40 to 60 minute runs, nice and slow, low heart rate. It's going to mean that your body's way more efficient at getting oxygen to those muscles. That's the sports science part. The other part, just mental resilience. That's not an amazing score. However, I haven't done one in years. I'm definitely overall fitter, but I haven't been training regularly. So over the next 3 months, we'll see where I can push past. But the last few levels is just holding on. So we'll get there. I'll pull my arse. Maybe I should have done a warm-up. So that is episode number 1, the bleep test, done and dusted. We'll next do this again in 12 weeks time, and that'll be the final assessment to see how far we can get into. But with any of this stuff, I think genuinely the serious message to convey is that it's a journey. It didn't really matter, apart from a bit of ego and pride, what I got today. The point is now I'm on a 3-month journey to improve that level of fitness. It doesn't happen on day 1, it doesn't happen on day 2, but having a program, having something that is supportive of your goals. So many times I might chat to people where they're in the gym because they like the gym and they're neglecting running. This is the time to put the work in on your weaknesses, turn them into strengths before you get there. The last thing you want, especially if you're going in as an officer, is that first run to be caught out. Don't be happy with just an 8.6 past. Trust me, when you get there, people are seriously fit and it's a competition. So you get to Sandhurst, you compete for places. Fitness isn't the be all and end all, but it's a huge part of it. So turning up fit is going to make your life a whole lot easier. Get off to a good start, be confident, and remember that when you're going through the process, no matter where you start, if you start up here on fitness or down here on fitness, everyone's going to get fitter. But if you start down here and the other guys start up there, that gap stays the same all the way through. You can't make up the time or the fitness gap whilst you're there. It has to be done before. That's it for this week's video. Make sure you tune in next week where we're going to be doing body weight strength. Pull-ups is a huge weakness for many people. I'm going to be telling you how to build that strength and other parts. Make sure you like, subscribe if you like this sort of content. See you next week with a brand new video.